What's going on, everyone? I'm back here with another video for you guys today, and today I'm going to be giving you guys my full review of the Vizio M321i-A2 smart television. So, I picked this up from my local Best Buy store for $414 after tax, which is actually a really decent price for this particular TV. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start off by giving you guys a tour of the hardware. So first off here, we have the display itself, which is a 32-inch diagonal display, but if you get down to direct measurements, it comes out to about 31.5 inches. Another thing to note, actually, with the display, let me turn on the flash, is right here, as you can see, the bezel is like about a ½ inch thick. So what you're going to basically get is all screen rather than getting a half of about a couple inches of bezel that most TVs have nowadays. So this is a good perk for the TV. Moving on, we have, okay, I'm just going to leave the light on here. We have an LED indicator here to show you if the TV is on or off. Over here you have a Vizio logo, and as you can see, there's a trim on the outside of the TV that is silver, which gives it a nice, pristine, high-end look. Here is the stand as well. I have kind of a lot of stuff in the way of it, but it has a nice modern-styled stand, so it's going to fit well with modern-day technology, I should say. So, moving to the side over here. This is kind of awkward, so you guys may know I'm doing this with one hand again, because like I said before, I cannot get in behind the TV and everything with a tripod, so bear with me once again with another one-hand video. So anyway, as you can see here, the TV is very thin. The edge right here where the silver part is only 0.9 inches thick, so that's really thin. And then the entire depth of the television from the silver part all the way out is only 2 inches thick, so that's extremely thin for a type of TV like this. So now I'm going to go ahead and pause the video briefly so I can give you guys a look at the back of the TV and all the inputs and outputs. Okay, we are now behind the television now. So the first input we have here, let me go ahead and focus in, is the power connection, where you would connect the power plug. And it's actually neatly tucked away, so it kind of cuts down on cord space. That kind of makes the cord stick out a little bit. You also have some vents back here, running along the entire width of the television to keep it cool, which is always nice. And then we have right here 4 screws. You have one here, here, there, and there, and that is for your wall mount if you choose to do so. But if you do not want to do that, like I said, you have your stand, which you would connect right here, right below a second set of vents. And the stand is actually fairly simple to assemble. It only takes 8 screws, 4 of them to connect to the TV itself, and then 4 to connect this part of the stand to the base. So it's fairly simple. But yeah, I would recommend 2 people doing this so you don't knock the TV over or damage it in any way. So moving on with the inputs and outputs. Right here we have an Ethernet right up there. They're kind of in an awkward position. Next to that you have your cable input, as you can see there. Next to that you have your analog audio out, which for example would be used for a surround sound system. And that is actually what I'm currently using that for. Next to that you have a digital optical out. Next to that you have 2 HDMI ports, which are currently being occupied. And then right over here we have some more inputs and outputs. We have a third HDMI port right here, which is also being occupied. Then you have a component / composite input. So the composite is actually being shared via the component input. So if you want to use composite, you'd have to unplug your component cables and swap them out for the composite cables, which is kind of an inconvenience in my opinion, because I would rather have a separate input for the composite, but there's nothing you can really do about that. And then above the component / composite, you have a one USB port, which, as you can see, you can plug a USB flash drive into, and you can use that to view photos, music, and videos on your television set via the application that is suited for that. And then moving right down here is the very awkwardly positioned power button. And one thing to note about this particular TV is the fact that if you do happen to lose the remote control, you will not be able to control the actual TV without it, because there are actually no physical buttons anywhere on the outside of it. The only one being is that power button right over there. So with that being said, I would say take really good care of your remote control and keep it in a good place that you won't lose it, because like I said, if you do lose it or break it, you will not be able to control the TV without it. So yes, keep that in mind. Okay, now one last thing behind here before I move out back to the front of the television is that the speakers are actually hidden. They are right here. They're underneath the bottom part. There's one right here, and then one over here underneath the inputs, right about here where my finger is. So kind of awkward placing for a speaker, but not too big of a deal. And the sound quality is okay, but I wouldn't say it's the best. But I will make a separate video focusing on the audio test with the TV. So now I'm going to pause the video one more time so I can get out to the front. Alright, I'm now back in the front side of the television. I am now using my tripod for this portion of the video because I do not need to go in behind the television anymore. But anyway, now I'm going to give you guys a quick look at the actual control, remote control. So let's focus in on that. And my camera here actually does sometimes have a tough time focusing. I'm not sure why, but let's see if I can get it to work. Yeah, it's not wanting to focus. But anyway, this is what the control looks like. It's a really nice, nicely designed control. On the batteries, you'd actually pop this part off, and then you slide the batteries right in there. It takes 2 AA, which is really nice and convenient. And also, one thing that's cool, since this TV is a smart TV, it has 3 buttons up here at the top. One that's for Amazon Instant Video, one Netflix, and one that's MGO. I'm not too sure what MGO is. Oh, there we go. The camera has just now focused. But anyway, those are really convenient, so you can click any of those buttons and it'll jump you straight into that particular application. Then you have the standard buttons up here, power, input, and then you have a smaller power button, which actually I'm not too sure what that's for. I'm assuming it could be for an external Blu-ray player, but I could be wrong. And then you have the standard buttons down here, menu, info guide, back, everything. And then this button here is actually the Vizio home button, which when you click that, it brings up the application bar, so you can select which app you want to currently use. And then we have some more array of buttons down here, mute, display mode, 3D, which actually the 3D button does not work. So this must be actually a universal remote. And the camera just went out of focus again. But the 3D button does not work with this particular TV. which is kind of unfortunate. And then you have a redo button, I assume. And then you have the standard number pad down here for the actual TV channels. And another thing to note about this remote control is actually that it's backlit. So if you click it, as you can see there, all of the buttons have just lit up, so you can see them in a dark room, which is really, really cool. And very unique and really, really nice. That shows a nice quality about this. So, now, I'm going to go ahead and give you guys the internal specs of this particular TV before I actually turn it on. This actually may be a two-part video because this is actually ending up being very, very long. So let me go ahead and get through the specs really quick, and I am going to probably have to end this video after that. So, like I said, the screen is a 32-inch diagonal display, but comes out to 31.5. It also is a 1080p Full HD display, so you can get the highest HD resolution possible. Also, it is 120 Hz, so you're going to get a good refresh rate. If you were to get a TV with 60 Hz, that's okay too, but I would recommend 120 Hz because the picture moves much clearer and smoother. It does have smart dimming. It has built-in Wi-Fi, of course. Also, the screen is a 16:9 aspect ratio, so you're going to get that nice, crisp, widescreen view. The dynamic contrast ratio is actually really, really impressive. It is a 10 million to 1, which is really impressive in my opinion. It does support DTS StudioSound, TruSound, and TruVolume, which is very nice. Like I said, this is also a smart TV, so the apps that are going to be built in are Netflix, Amazon Instant Video, MGO, Vudu, Hulu Plus, YouTube, Pandora, iHeartRadio, Facebook, and Twitter. So those are the apps that you will find bundled when you first turn on the TV. It's also Energy Star 6.0 compliant, so it saves a lot of energy. And on that note, it only costs about $6 a year to run, so it's really, really power efficient and really, really nice. Also, another cool thing to note is it does have an ambient light sensor, so it can dynamically change the brightness of the display to correspond with the lighting in the room, just like mobile phones and tablets nowadays. Also, next up, the weight only comes in about 18.5 pounds, which is very nice. Because my previous TV, which was the same size, but it weighed about 42 pounds, which was really, really heavy and bulky. And that's pretty much the specs. So, yes, I'm going to go ahead and have to end the video here and pick up on a part 2 to show you guys the actual software and applications of the Smart TV function. So, yes, hope you guys enjoyed this part of the video of part 1. Make sure to tune in for part 2. Yes, so make sure to hit the subscribe button right down there. Thumbs up the video, always appreciate it. And comment below if you have any questions whatsoever. I will be sure to get to any of those questions that you guys may have. And yes, once again, thank you guys for watching part 1 of this video. And peace out.